Hi, welcome to another IELTS video. Today we are looking at how to feel confident when speaking. If you find this video helpful, I encourage you to visit my website at ielts.com. The question of how to feel more confident when speaking is something that I am asked regularly, both in my online classes and in my classroom. And I wanted to create this little video to share a few of my thoughts with you and a few suggestions on how you can work towards being a more confident speaker. I have divided today's lesson into 3 parts. The first is preparation, and here we're going to talk about a few tips that you can use by yourself to prepare for the challenge of speaking. The second thing we're going to talk about is practice and how to properly practice with another person. How to really improve your speaking when speaking with another person. And the final thing we're going to talk about is delivery, which is how to conduct yourself and how to speak effectively when in a stressful situation like the IELTS examination. When preparing to speak, we actually do not need to have a speaking partner. There are a number of things that we can do by ourselves to help prepare us for the challenge of speaking to another person. Now, I'd like to share a few quick tips with you that you can use to help sound more fluent, and by sounding more fluent, you can gain a sense of confidence. So the first thing I suggest to all students is to shorten your sentences when speaking. IELTS students sometimes believe that their examiner is looking to see long, elaborate sentences when the students, describe various activities or give their monologue on the examination. But that's not actually the case. What your examiner is looking for is that you speak with grammatical accuracy, that you fulfill the requirements of your task, and that you employ a fitting lexical resource. So speaking, in long, elaborate sentences and using complicated speech patterns is not really that necessary to score well. So don't fool yourself by thinking that you have to speak this way. Try shortening your sentences down to very basic ideas. And you'll find that in doing this, the accuracy of what you're saying and your overall fluency will improve. Now, a second thing that I always suggest is that students commit cohesive phrases to memory. So what this means is that you make an effort to learn many different ways of linking ideas together. So this could include phrases like as a child, as a student, as a graduate student, as a mother, as a, this to start your sentence. So as a child, I remember being given a piano for my birthday. Now this little phrase at the beginning, as a child, is something that I've committed to my memory prior to prior to speaking. And using these cohesive phrases to link my ideas together, I am making my overall speech patterns much easier to understand. Because of this, I could use this phrase, to continue an idea. So, for example, if I was talking about my childhood, as a child, I was given a piano for my birthday. Because of this, I became increasingly interested in music. Now, what you can see is that, there's two very basic sentences there. I was given a piano for my birthday, and I became increasingly interested in music. These two sentences are small. They're short. But all I'm doing is I'm adding some cohesive phrases to the beginning of them to make, the fluency of the two sentences much easier to understand. So now, when I speak, you can see the relationship between the two ideas. So, learning these cohesive phrases, and when I say learning, I don't mean, studying them on your page and just doing it like that. I mean, by yourself in your bedroom, repeating, because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this, as this shows, as this shows, as this shows, as a child, as a man, as a teacher, as a student. Practicing these cohesive phrases. Keep practicing until they come naturally to you. So that when, the next time that you're with your friends and you're practicing for your exam, these cohesive phrases, they just come out naturally. You start linking your ideas together naturally using them. So that is my tip for the preparation portion of your study. Now, of course, it's very important to actually practice speaking with another person. And I completely agree when people say that you can't learn to speak from a textbook. So you need to find some speaking partners. It's okay if they're not native speakers. Of course, it's better if you can find people that are perhaps more skilled than you are. But find people who are interested in the IELTS exam, who are going to take the IELTS exam, and practice your speaking with them. Now, when practicing your speaking, you should make an effort to practice productively. So, by this I mean practice real IELTS IELTS type questions. Sometimes when I hear students in the hallways at my school and they tell me they're practicing for their IELTS exam, I see that they're chit-chatting about some topics that they may know about, and that's helpful, but I think if you can really try to, as much as possible, practice real IELTS type questions, practice real cue cards that you can find on the internet. Practice these different topics and practice responding to them. So practicing what you will really face in the examination, I think, is a more effective way of studying. Now, in addition to this, I think it's very important to always include new vocabulary in your study sessions. So, for example, if today, if we're going to be studying about speaking about our families, maybe we can find 4, 5, or 6 new vocabulary words, or perhaps some colloquial phrases that on the internet, and we can include these in our practice. And this is a great way to really learn to use different vocabulary words, and also to widen our lexical resource. Okay, so practice productively. That's tip number 1. Now, secondly, use technology to your advantage. And what I mean here is that there are lots of resources that you can tap into. I know lots of students, they sit in their bedroom and they have a textbook, and you don't have to stop there. Look on the internet and find some sample speaking responses. The BBC has some, the British Council has some. You can find transcripts often for these responses. And when listening to the responses, try as best you can. Try repeating. Don't just listen once. Listen multiple times. Go back. Repeat after the student what they're saying. Repeat, the phrases that they're using. Make notes of anything new that you come across. When using technology, record yourself when you're speaking. Record the way that you speak about your family. Record the way that you talk about you talk in a monologue. Record the way that you talk in a dialogue with a friend. Make notes of your weakness. Don't be shy to do these things. So for practice, use technology. Now, when it comes to the delivery portion, to become more confident, the very first thing is to go to the exam prepared. Go to the exam prepared. I know many students are probably thinking, of course, why would you even say this as a tip? But what I mean by prepared is go into the exam having memorized all of those cohesive phrases and having practiced them again and again and again, so now that they are natural, and having had many study sessions with friends, and each of those study sessions included 5 or 6 or 7 or even more new words and phrases. So now you have several hundred phrases, several hundred words that you perhaps didn't know before you started your study sessions. Go to the exam having finished at least 50 sample full speaking mock exams. This can be at school, this can be with your friend, this can be with a teacher, this can be even doing mock exams by yourself, for the monologue portion of the exam, recording yourself. When you get to the examination, there should be absolutely nothing that is new to you. You should have practiced pretty much every conceivable topic that the examiner could throw at you. So go to the exam prepared. Okay, now when it comes to delivery, stay calm. Again, I can see many people out there thinking this is not a very helpful tip. Of course, I'm trying to stay calm. Now, to stay calm, there's a number of things that you can do. But the thing that I find works the best, and what students tell me works the best, and will make you look much more fluent, is to use pauses to increase your confidence. So if you're in the exam and you feel nervous, and for a moment you don't know what to say, just pause. Pauses are okay. Pauses are good. Just collect your thoughts and then deliver what it is that you are wanting to express. Now, there are differences between good pauses and bad pauses. Bad pauses are pauses between each word. I mean, this makes you sound kind of robotic. It makes you sound, like you're not a very fluent speaker. Good pauses are pauses that show the way your speaking would be written. How would it be punctuated? So that means that, if this was a written phrase, if there was a comma, I should be taking a moment for a breath and then continuing my thought. So anytime that you feel nervous, just take a moment and just pause and collect yourself. This will help. Okay, so that concludes the tips that I have regarding speaking. If you would like to share a few of your own tips, please feel welcome to do that in the comments section of this video, or come and tell us at my blog. You're always welcome to do that as well. Thank you for joining me today. Have a nice evening.